Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 21 of Homebrew Buffoonery. So today's episode is all about pleasing my friend who lives not too far away. I don't get to see him nearly as often as I'd like to, and I've done a couple of beers for him before. I did the Twinkle's Viennese, and I did the Twinkle's Eaganator, which was named after him, and both of them were sort of amberish ale lager beers really. And he said to me both times that he doesn't really like ale kind of beers, he wants a lager. So that's what I'm going to try and do today. Really simple, straight down the middle kind of German Pilsnery, Bohemian Pilsnery kind of lager. So what I've got is my 2-pan setup with the double pumps. I'm going to get that going in a bit. The water's just coming up to temperature at the minute, and very simple grain bill today. Because I'm using 13 litres of water, I've got 5 in here, so it's just above the level of the ball valve, which is at the back there, and I've got 8 litres in there. I'm going to use 1.75 kilos of grain today, so I'm using a 1.5 kilos of pale malt. I'm not sure it's Marisotto or not. The bloke in the shop was a bit iffy about it. He says, "Oh no, it's just pale." So it's just a UK pale malt as a base malt, and then I've got 250 grams of something called Carapils, which I got from another homebrew shop not so far away. And I was listening to a Brewlosophy podcast the other day, and said, "Yeah, don't use Carapils because it's basically adds nothing to your beer whatsoever." So I've got a bag of it, so I'm going to use it up. It's a very simple hop recipe today. I'm going to use 10 grams of Challenger, 60 minutes in the boil, and then I'm going to use 10 grams of SARS at 30 minutes in the boil, and that just gets me bang on in style for my German Bohemian kind of Pilsner. Okay, so by the wizard of technology, video technology, I should have a picture of my brewer's friend recipe and the guidelines on the screen now, so you can see the original gravity 1046, alcohol 5.16, IBUs 43, SRMs 4.16, but you can also see that there's a few exclamation marks in there. I just couldn't get the final gravity to 10.13. 10.7 was the best I could get for it. I don't know why. I think it might be the yeast that I'm going to be using. And the colours, well, it's the palest of pale malts, and how it can't be below 6 for a couple of those colour markers, I don't know. But it's going to be very pale, and it's going to be very German, and it's going to be very Pilsnery, hopefully. So 2 things that I've not tried before with this brew. First off is the yeast. So what I've got here is Saf Lager W3470, and this is a dry lager yeast, famous Weinhenstepan strain from Germany, used in the brewing industry for the production of a wide range of lager Pilsen types of beers. Pilsen's a place in Czechoslovakia, apparently, old Czechoslovakia, what's now Czech Republic. Sedimentation high, final gravity medium. So hopefully that might sort of just raise that final gravity a little bit higher. Temperature range 9 to 22 degrees C, but ideally should be between 12 to 15. Well, under that there brewery under the stairs, it's starting to cool down now. So up high where the gas boiler is, it's 18 to 20 degrees, which is perfect for most fermentations. But down on the floor, it's between sort of 12 and 15. So that's absolutely spot on. And all you need to do, I'm going to sprinkle half of that between however much I get. Hopefully I'm going to get about 7.5, maybe 8 litres in the end. And the second thing is I'm going to try some beer finings, because I've been listening to this Brewlosophy podcast and watching all sorts of videos, and I'm trying to figure out whether I can use finings and still get beer in a bottle to carbonate properly. And I've been told that it's fine, it doesn't make any difference. So what I've got is I've got some Mangrove Jack beer finings. I don't know what it's going to be. It's basically the same stuff that I use in my wine, and it does get the wine absolutely crystal clear. But is that particularly a good thing? Because you want some yeast in suspension whilst it's conditioning in the bottles to carbonate the beer. So we'll see how it goes. I'll probably use half of that and keep the rest for another batch. Okay, so we've got the mash going now, and what I'm going to do is just leave that for 10 minutes. It's just recirculating around, out the ball valve, out the back, along through the pump here, and in through this tube. And then I've got my little bit of silicone hose with some blue tack in the end, with some holes dug in it, and that's my sort of spargy bit. Over here is just my other bit of water that I'm going to heat up to 66, and when I get going and I do the infinite loopy thing, I'll swap that pipe over to here and this pipe back over to there, and I've got an infinite figure of 8 going. I'll put my thermometer in that water, and I can keep that water at 66 degrees tons better than I can the other one. You will notice the perils perhaps of home brewing and not really taking care of what you're doing. You know, I've got words all over me lovely stainless steel splashback, but that's it. So I'm going to leave it here for another 7 or 8 minutes, and then I'll do my swap over, and we'll leave it run for another 50, and that's our mash. Okay, so we've reached 10 minutes in the mash now, and I've swapped the 2 connectors over there, and now we've got a figure of 8 going, and all I need to make sure now is that the levels in here are nicely balanced, and seem to be okay. So we've got 45 and 50 minutes left now, and all I need to do is keep this burner ticking over here in this pan, just to keep the temperature up to 66 degrees. And from the last brew, the black IPA, it should do a really nice job. So we'll see you in about half an hour and we'll try and get an idea of the clarity of the wort. Okay, so one big thing I have noticed, the difference between this brew and the black IPA was this piece of silicone hose in the mash tun here, and it's got 5 or 6 holes drilled in it, and the water comes out reasonably well, but it doesn't come out as quickly as it would do if it didn't have the hose on it, just the barb, the hose barb, which is what is in there anyway. So it seems to be keeping its level okay at the minute, and I'm just a little bit worried that the water level isn't properly covering the grain, so I might not quite reach me gravity, but you know, both pumps are going, and we'll keep it going, we'll see how it goes. So I did tell a bit of a porcupine. There are actually 3 things that I'm looking at today, and the third thing is that I'm very excited to get me a bottle of Starsan, which is the super duper acid sanitizer. So I've been looking through about how much you need to dilute, and it is really strong. It says here, per 10 litres of water, you need between 15 and 25 millilitres. Well, my little bottle there is half a litre. So some simple maths means that I need 1 millilitre of this to go into that half litre of water there, and that is a strong enough solution to sanitise anything in my brew setup. So everything's generally clean because I give it a good wash out and a good rinse out after I've used it anyway. So just as a little extra bit of security against the nasties, I think I've got a lifetime supply of Starsan there for 12 quid. It was from the shop was Homebrew UK. That's where I got that from. It came proper quick, and I'm really looking forward to using it. So that's the hour mash done, and I've cleaned up a little bit. I just need a little bit of cleaning to do, not a lot. And now I've got all my wort in there. I've got about 10 litres, so an hour of a boil should give me 8 litres, which will fill 2 demijohns, 4 litres in each, which should be good. And then all I need to do is cool it down to sort of below 20 degrees really. I want to try and get it to 15 if I can, and then pitch the yeast and stick her under stairs in that there brewery. Okay, so here we are at the boil, bang on 60 minutes, and what I've got here in my little funny little plate is 10 grams of Challenger leaf hops that's been frozen into a little block. That's going straight in. I'm using my hop bag in a raw rail that's under stairs in that there brewery, and so I'm just going to dump it in and see what happens. There we go. And what I've got is then another 30 minutes to wait, and I'm going to put 10 grams of Stars hops in. And what I'm not going to do this time is put Whirlflock in, because I really don't like it. It clumps all this stuff together, and I think it creates a volume in the bottom of the demijohn that's just basically wasted beer. So I'm going to try it just for this once without any Whirlflock, and I might compare it. I'll do a same batch next time, because I've got 2 lots of this malt to make some beers with. So I'll try it again, and I'll maybe try that with Whirlflock and see what happens. Okay, so whilst we're just waiting on the boil there, I thought I'd go through the BJCP guidelines, and it's for German Pils, which is section 5D. And it says, overall impression, a light body, highly attenuated, gold coloured, bottom fermented bitter German beer, showing excellent head retention and an elegant floral hop aroma. Crisp, clean and refreshing. A Pils showcases the finest quality German malts and hops. So it's a German UK Pils. What I will say is that highly attenuated. Now I read about this the other day, and it means that the yeast eats up all the sugar and turns it to alcohol. So the final gravity is quite low. So you can get some medium attenuation ones where the gravity tends to be sort of 1014 or 1015 around there, but highly attenuated, hopefully you get down to 1006 maybe, or something around there. So let's see, appearance is straw to light gold and brilliant to very clear. Well, very clear. And flavour, medium to high hop bitterness dominates the palate and lingers into the aftertaste. Moderate to moderately low grainy sweet malty character. Low to high floral, spicy or herbal hop flavours. So anything that's low to high means there's a broad range there, isn't there? So it's funny that they put the grains into Brewer's Friend, and instead of going in with the style that I want, I put the grains in and then pick a style from what it gives me in the suggestions. And well, it was about 50-50 that today, and I got a German Pils, which is more or less what I wanted. The history, it's adapted from the Czech Pilsner to suit brewing conditions in Germany. First brewed in the 1870s, became popular after the Second World War, as German brewing schools emphasised modern techniques. And along with its sister beer, Czech Pilsner is the ancestor of the most widely produced beer styles today. Average IBUs of many well-regarded commercial examples have dropped over time, which is good. Yay! I don't like bitterness, don't like super bitter. So the characteristic ingredients then are a Pilsner malt. Well, I got pale malt, so a similar sort of thing. German hops, so we can use SARS there. Could you use Challenger? Well, we are today. And I'm definitely using a German lager yeast. That's that the Safale W something 4070, was it? Something like that. And so it says the style comparison, in comparison to a Czech premium pale lager, it's lighter in body and colour, drier, crisper, and more fully attenuated, so there's more alcohol in it, which isn't necessarily a good thing, really. I had to go with my black IPA that I brewed last video the other night, and it was something like 3.7%, and it was really nice. Really, I can't wait for that to condition in the bottles. That's going to be an awesome beer, utterly awesome. So that's basically it, really. IBUs 22 to 40, so medium bitterness, very light colours, reasonably low original gravities, but then there's a reasonably low final gravity as well, 4.4 to 5.2%. So mine is something, I think it's going to be about 4.6, which isn't too bad. And there's commercial varieties of Pils coming out of every country in the world, so they're all over the place. You can easily find out what they are and what they taste like. But from BJCP guidelines, there you go. That's it. German Pils, 5D. Okay, so we're 30 minutes in, and I've got 10 grams of SARS hops, and in they go. Next thing is to get it cooled down, get a gravity reading taken, and pitch some yeast, and then leave it for a couple of weeks on the floor of that there brewery and see what happens. Okay, so that's the boil done. Now what I'm going to do is, there's no hops to go in for a whirlpool, but I am going to whirlpool it anyway, and then leave it for 20 minutes, half an hour. And there's obviously a lot of stuff in the wort, just looking at it, lots of stuff bubbling around. So I'm going to give it a quick whirlpool, leave it for half an hour, and then I'm going to drain it and start to cool it down properly. Okay, so here we are. We've just transferred the wort into the cooling pan in the sink there. I've got about 7 litres, 7.5 litres maybe. There is all the nonsense that is left at the bottom of the pan. Ooh. But I didn't use whirlflock, and there's still quite a lot down there really, and I'm not sure I need to really use a whirlflock in the future. I can see in the wort there that there is definitely some particles in there, but that will settle out in the demijohn, and then I'll be able to transfer it to a secondary to clean it up before I put it in the bottles. Okay, so we're cooled down now, and we're about 20 degrees. My groundwater here, the water from the tap, is 13 degrees, but it's going to take me forever to cool it down to there. So I've just taken a quick gravity reading, and it is currently at 1052, which is a bit higher actually than what I thought. But what I'm going to do is going to give it a quick whirlpool, and then we'll leave it for another 20 minutes, half an hour, and then I'm going to siphon it off into demijohns. I've got about 7 litres there, so 3.5 in each demijohn, and pitch a little bit of yeast, maybe half a pack. It said the full pack would do 10 to 15 litres, so I'll do half a pack each demijohn, and that should be enough. And then put it somewhere cool to ferment for a couple of weeks, and job's a good one. Okay, so we've come to the end of brew day now. All was left to do is to transfer auto siphon from the pan into the demijohns. I've got another one there as well. I'll do 3.5 litres in each, hopefully get 7 litres out of it, and then pitch the old Saflager 3470, W3470, and see what happens. Should be interesting. It's starting to cool down now, so I've no problems with the temperature under the stairs in that there brewery. It should be perfectly fine. So let's get to it. So it's definitely not as clean as other beers have been. I might have to use the whirlflock again and just take the losses that comes with all the protein that clumps out of it. Well, maybe it'll clear up. We'll see. So here's the old Starsan, and I've just popped some into the top of the airlock there. So that should keep that nice and clean. And then that can go into that one. And then I have another airlock with Starsan in there, and that can go into that one. And all I need to do is what I've forgotten to do is pitch the yeast. Ugh. So let's get that done, get it shook up, and under stairs. See you later. Okay, so there's the wort pitched into both. I've evened them up, and got Starsan in me airlocks now, so that's going to be super duper clean, which is good. And all that's left is to give it a bit of a shake. Really? Now, I put my numbers back into Brewer's Friend because my OG was 1052. So that's out of the German Pilsner style, unfortunately. That's because I'm getting 70% efficiency now with my 2-pot thing. So it's getting better. It used to be 65%, but it's definitely getting better. Now, that's it all shook up and the yeast incorporated into the wort. And what I will say is that the yeast is falling straight to the bottom, because apparently it's a bottom feeding yeast. So that's good. So, you know, we're on 6 and a bit litres of beer there, so that's not too bad. 1052 starting. If what Brewer's Friend says is right, it's going to get down to 10.07 and give me umpteen% of alcohol, so that's not good. Hopefully my friend will like it. And so there's me German Pilsner. You know, if you've got any comments or you want to say anything about anything you've seen in these videos, then you know you can leave a comment below and I'll get straight back to you more or less. And you know, you can like and you can subscribe as well to the channel and go out and brown the beer.